So now one of the big questions is, when did Donald Trump sever ties with Jeffrey Epstein? Did he do it because of, well, his official story is that he was acting inappropriately around a female and Trump decided enough is enough? I mean, I think that at one point that was one of the stories. It sort of morphed into he was taking too many of Trump's female staff, and then he had enough of it. That seems to be a couple of stories that Donald Trump is throwing out there. Uh, we don't have a solid answer yet, but people are at least asking the question. At what point did Donald Trump sever ties with Jeffrey Epstein? Because he knew the guy, they were friends for more than a decade, right? They were close friends. So why did Trump really separate himself from that guy? Now, the latest information we have on Virginia Giuffre is that she was apparently, according to Donald Trump, she was stolen from one of his spas when she was 16 years old. First of all, why did Donald Trump have a 16-year-old working at a spa? I mean, I don't know if that's normal. Is that a common thing? You go to a spa and there's 16-year-olds around, 16-year-old girls around. I mean, maybe she was grabbing the towels. I don't know. Does that sound like a normal thing to you guys? I'm just throwing that out there. Just a question, because it sounds pretty shady to me. And plus, Trump had his own pageants. He had his own modeling events where they had a bunch of young girls. A lot of them were under the age of 18, just involved in events owned by Donald Trump. And of course, Donald Trump was friends with this guy who was Jeffrey Epstein, who was trafficking young females. I mean, you guys put it together. I mean, look, I just have questions. And this is why people want the answers, because it looks really, really bad. Okay. Another thing, Donald Trump said that Virginia was stolen by Epstein. He was stolen. I'm thinking, what? Is this woman a slave? I mean, it's like you own this woman, okay? Supposed to be an employee. What do you mean by she was stolen? Like, was she an employee or was she something else? That's weird language to describe a human being. You stole somebody from me. You might say, okay, so an employee was poached from us. I mean, that might make a little more sense. Recruited away from us, but stolen? I mean, I have a question. Was Donald Trump supplying Jeffrey Epstein with young women or young females, young girls? I mean, that's just a question I have. I got to ask that question because he definitely had access to these females, and some of them came from his establishments. Some of these females who were at Trump's establishment ended up at Epstein's. It's ended up in Epstein's operation. So, I mean, I just got to ask that question. And I think people need to keep asking this question. Just because I voted for Trump doesn't mean I'm going to just ignore the fact that they're not going to release these Epstein files. And I'm not going to ignore what's going on with Maxwell. She was a predator. She lured young women into this lifestyle. She manipulated women to go towards Epstein. She abused women, according to the reports. And now, there's talk of her maybe getting a pardon for a testimony. She's going to serve her own interests. She's going to serve her own interests, and her interest is to say what certain people in power want her to say. But I think the powers that be, the people who really run the show, not Trump, they're sick of Trump. They used him. They're going to have J.D. Vance get in there. That's what I think is going to happen. That's what I'm expecting. Again, I voted for Trump, but I still think we need to hold this guy accountable. And his answers to these questions about Epstein, they're just completely unacceptable. So some questions of the day. Did Donald Trump know what Epstein was doing? They were friends for a long time. Was Donald Trump supplying Epstein with young females? Again, I'm just asking. And what was the real reason why Donald Trump severed ties with Epstein? Was it because he found out Epstein was under investigation? I'm just asking. Is Donald Trump protecting somebody? Or is he protecting himself? We're not voting our way out of this. Obviously, you have people on the left jumping in on this Epstein story, trying to exploit it to help the Democratic Party in the midterms. Well, it ultimately doesn't matter. Neither one of these political parties give a damn about any of us. They don't work for us. So rooting for one of these teams is a complete waste of time. The blue team, red team, none of these people are on our side. Period. And it would be ridiculous if I ignored this story after criticizing Biden and Kamala Harris. I'm sick of the red team versus blue team game. It's not even about that, man. It's about right versus wrong. And if we can't get a hold of that concept, we're doomed.